Now can you see?
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So say for example, 10 greater than 20. What is this? It's a comparison statement, right? You are using a relational operator greater than for the comparison of 10 and 20. So what is the value you are getting?
False.
It's not like in C language. In C language, it's 1 or 0, right? But here, so the return type, when you compare two values, it's kind of a Boolean value. So 10 greater than 20 is false. Or you can compare it like something like 10 less than 20. So what do you expect? It's 10 less than 20. So true, right? Or you can simply check the type of any comparison statements. 10 less than 20. Let's see. So what is the type is returned. So what is the type of that? So the result of the comparison statement, it's a Boolean value. So that's how you can consider. So wherever you want to check the type of anything, so you can use this function. Type is a function which returns the type of the value you are getting. Okay, so that's how you can use this type method. So that is what is about the true keyword. So true is kind of, you know, wherever you are using true, so it's similar to using of 1. And similarly, false means it's a 0 value. Fine. I hope you understand about true and false. The same with false also. False is also a Boolean value, and we have seen the example, right? So you can check the result of the comparison operation whenever it is wrong. So then it returns the Boolean value, which is a false value. So false indicates it's a 0 value. So false and 0 you can alternately you can use. And there is one more keyword called none. None. So none is used to define a null value. Wherever you want to have a null value, you can use the none. So as we go into the course, then you can understand much about this none. So similar to the 0 or false. So none is similar to your 0 or false or even empty string. Whenever you are using empty string or whenever you are using a 0 or you are using a false, that indicates that it is a none value. So the value in this 0 or false or empty string is a none value. So similar to your other data types, none is a special data type, which indicates nothing is there. So you can actually use it as a data type. Say, for example, I can say that x equal to none. So you can see the type of x now. So what is the type? It's a special type, right? So you can initialize any variable with this none type, and you can check its type also if you want. So there is a special type called as none type, and you can use that. So that's how you can use none. And the next reserved keyword is AND. Do you remember AND keyword? AND keyword, you know, right? You know about AND keyword. What is it about? Why do you use AND? AND is basically the logical operator. Say, for example, whenever you want to combine two or more conditional statements, then you use the logical operators, right? Either AND or not you can use. So here we have an example. So 5 greater than 3 is one relational operation, or you can say it's a comparison statement. And 5 is less than 10 is another comparison or the condition. So whenever you want to join these two different conditions, you can use the AND. So either you can use AND or also. So I hope you know much about this AND statement. So now let's see. 5 greater than 3. What is 5 greater than 3? What is returned by this comparison 5 greater than 3?
True.
True. Okay. 5 less than 10?
True.
And 2 and 2.
True. Okay. So how the AND logic works?
True,
Both
true.
are true, of course. So when the whole condition, yeah, when both the conditions are true, then only the AND returns a true value, right? So now let's see.
X already taken, no, ma'am. Okay.
That's fine. No, you can even
Yeah, yes.
see now x20. That's not a problem actually. So x you can change it. That won't be a problem. I think some spaces or some problem. So let's see now.
White spaces will be
Let's
there
check
on
at
page
this
10.
next y is greater than 3 and 7 is greater than 2, something like this. Yeah, it's true. Of course, you can even initialize that. Let's see that. Yeah, done, right? So now let's see what is the value in x. So x contains the true value, and let's see the type of x. So what is the type of x? It's a Boolean value, right? Yeah. So so always you can combine more than two or more relational or the conditional statements using and or are, and also you can use not also. So and how it works, the and statement. So when both the conditions you are joining, if both are true, then only it returns a true. So if any one of them are false, then it returns a false. So now let's check that. Let's change it. Now let's see. 7 less than 2. So what would be the result? What do you expect from this? 5 greater than 3 and 7 less than 2.
False.
False, because one of the condition is false, so you need not to check the other condition. When one of the condition is false, you can say the entire condition is false. So now let's continue our discussion with anyhow. Next we'll continue this with OR. So let's see with R. So how R works? R is also the same, right? So kind of you can combine two or more conditional statements with the help of the R keyword. But the working is different. How it works? So when any of the conditions is, yeah, it's correct, then the entire condition would be true. So now let's see. So what will be returned by the statement now? So instead of and, I'm using or. Yeah. So why is it true? So 5 is greater
5
than
is
3.
greater than 3.
3 is true. Yeah. So even 7 less than 2 is false. 5 greater than 3 is true. So because of that, so the entire statement, entire condition would turns to be true, right? And when this R returns a false value,
Both are
that's
false.
it return. Yeah, when both are false, so then only it returns a false value. So that's how you can use and R statements in your programming, in your logic, when you implement the logic. So both are basically used to combine two or more conditional statements. And now let's continue with not. So what is not? So you can negate a statement, you can use not statement. Now let's see. 5 is greater than 3. So what does it return? 5 greater than 3. It's true, right? So I want to make it as not 5 greater than 3. So whatever is returned by this condition, you are making it as an reverse of that, right? So it's a false. So to make such statements, you can use not operators. Not and or not, all these three are the logical operators only. So as part of the operators also, we'll be discussing the same. And the return value, so if the condition is returning a true, it becomes a false. So if it is a false, then it is returning a true, right? So that's how you can use a not. So simply I can even try this actually. So inside this variable, you can actually store a Boolean value also. So x can be true or false. So I can simply say not x. What is not x? Because x is having a false value and you are saying it's not x. So you are negating the value. Whatever is there in the value, you are taking the negation of that. So that's how it became true. So that's how the not is used. The keyword not is used. And now let's see is. So what is is? Yeah, so try to focus a little on this because it's new to you, right? So is, you have never seen this kind of keyword. So is basically used to test whether two variables are pointing to the same object or not. So to check that, we'll be using is keyword. So is a keyword which is used to test whether two variables refer to the same object or not. So just to check that, we'll be using the is keyword. So now let's see. So now let's see, x equal to 10 and y is also storing at value 10. So both are referring to the same value, the same object. See, x is y. So both are referring to the same object or not. Just to check that, you can use true. So in Python, it's entirely different. Say for example, so 10 is also kind of, it's referring to some space some memory location in your memory, some location in your memory when you are storing even a value also. So that's how. So when you store 10 and when you are storing that in X, and later on when you store it in Y also, so both are referring to the same value, right? So it's not about the value they are storing. So it is point to the same memory location or not. That is, both are pointing to the same object or not. So let's check that once. The type of X. So what is the value? What is the type of X? It's integer. Of course, type of Y is also integer. Doesn't mean that both types are the same. So it means that both are pointing to the same object or not. So X is referring to the object which is storing the value 10, and Y is referring to the object which is pointing to the value 10. So here if you observe now, what is the type of X? It's an object, right? Or it's a class of type integer, and the type of Y is also, it's also of type integer, and both are having the same value, right? So that's how, so they are saying X is, when you say X is Y, it's saying true. So I'll introduce you one special type of data structure. So let's have a look at that. It's called as, 10, 20, 3. So you can assume this as a one-dimensional array with 3 elements. As of now, you can consider this as a one-dimensional array, but basically it's called as a list where you can store a list of elements. So now X is pointing to, you can even check that. What is the type of X? See, so it's a list. It's not an array actually. So in Python, we call this as a, whatever you are enclosing within square brackets. So if you enclose multiple elements in a square brackets, then it's called as a list. So now X is a list. Now I'll be storing this X in another variable Y. So now let's see. So what is there in X and Y? Are they having the same value, same pointing to the same objects or not? They're pointing to the same object, right? X and Y. So now you can check X is Y is true. Now let's. With 3 values, 10, 20, and 30. And what is the type of X? It's a list. And when I say Y equal to X, so Y and X both are pointing to the same object. That is why X is Y is returning a true value. And of course, I am creating one more list with the same values. If you observe, X and Z are having the same values, like list with the same values. So Z is also having the elements 10, 20, and 30. But X and Z are not pointing to the same object. They are different objects. Do you understand what is happening? Or
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. So even if they have the same elements also, it doesn't matter. But they should point to the same object. Then only is returns the true. Otherwise, it returns false. Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it fine?
No, fine.
What about the others?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So now we can say just as is, there is not is also. Yeah. Maybe we'll discuss that not is in case of when we discuss, operators. So we are in the discussion of keywords, right? So let's continue with the next keyword in. So in means whether the value is available in a data structure or not. You can check that. So for example, let's see what X is, how we created X. X is a list of elements, right? It's a list. So which is having the values 10, 20, 30. Now in this list, I want to check whether 10 is available in X or not. So to check that kind of conditions, you can use in. So in is to check whether a value is present in a list or not, or even a sequence data structure, whether it is available or not. So we'll discuss them shortly what list data structure is. So as of now, you remember, you can store list of elements using this square brackets, and that type of data structure is called as a list. And we created a data structure X like this, fine. And I want to check whether 10 is available in this variable X or not. So is 10 is available in X or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, it's available. That's why it's returning a true value. And now let me check whether 100 is in X or not. Is it available? So what is there in X? Yeah, X contains 10, 20, and 30. It contains 10, of course. That's why it's returning a true value. But 100 is in X? No, right? It's not available. That's why it's returning a false value. So that's how you can use the keyword in to check whether the value is available in a sequence data structure. So we have set of sequence data structures. So like list, you can check range, you can have string. So we'll discuss them shortly. Don't worry about that. So on the same day, you cannot understand all these things. But just remember to check a value is present in a data structure or not, we use the keyword in. And I have shown the example, right? So instead of taking the strings, you have taken the integers. And of course, because of this, say for example, let me create a list like this. X equal to zero comma 100 comma 0 comma 100. Yes. Now let's see. Okay. So I have created X, which is having values from 0 to 100. Okay. But when I display X, nothing is showing. It's just saying range of 0 comma 100 it is having. But I want to see the values. So the values will not be visible. So then how do I check the values is you can use this in keyword to check the values. For you can take the index, however you used your for loop in your C language for I in, so the data structure name is X, for I in X, so you can display I value. So try to observe this clearly, how I am writing this for I in X. So what is this I? I is just an index. And what is the X? So X is the data structure which contains the values from 0 to 99. That's how you create it. But you are not able to see that here. Okay, so we'll see in later classes what this range is, how to use this. But just remember, range function is used to create list of values from within a range. And here I am giving the range 0 to 100. So it creates a list with all the elements from 0 to 99. So that's how you can use the range function. So now I want to see the values that are available in this list X, but that is not possible to visualize. So how I can use that is you have to use the keyword in keyword. And I'm using the loop data structure. This is how you can use the loop data structure, loop condition for the index you are using. So C lo ela rastaru, how do you write your loop structure in C language? For I equal to 0, right? I equal to 0, semicolon, condition, a semicolon followed by your incrementation, then whatever the statements that are in your for loop. That's how you write. So here in Python, how do we write is, so the condition, then there is a in a keyword, then so whatever the values you want to repeat it over, so that data structure you need to pass here. Then whatever the statement, then you should have a colon, then the print statement or whatever the statements. Now let's see, you can see that. See, displaying all the values, right? So do you understand now how you can use in with the for loop, the keyword in with the for loop to display the values in X? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you understand or not?
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood,
Okay, fine.
ma'am.
Good. Okay. So now let's see how to use del keyword. So You are comfortable with del operation, right? Huh? What happened? Hello. So let's see how we can do it with the, what is the use of the del keyword? So when did you use this del keyword? Do you remember in your C language or Java language? Whenever you want to delete an object, right? So in the same way, here also, whenever you want to delete an object, you had to use the del keyword. So simply you can use it like this. You are creating, even it is an integer, because one thing I want to clarify is, so let's see. Can you observe here? Can you see what is happening here on the screen? So x. So what is the type of value in x?
Integer.
Integer. But when I check the type of integer, so what am I getting that? Getting there? Sorry. Type of x, right? Type of x. What is its type? Integer. Yeah. And integer is what type of object it is in case of Python? It's not a regular data type, just like your C language. So in your C language, integer is a primitive type, right? But here in Python, everything is a class, everything is an object. Even if also, so integer is a class. So that's how when you create the object x, it becomes an object. So when you create a variable x also, so simply an integer variable, but it becomes an object. That is how when you want to delete x, delete the object x, you need to use the keyword del. So now let's see. X is no more. X is not defined because I deleted that object. So does it make sense? Now why it's not, why do we need to use del keyword to delete the objects? So now X is created and if I want to display, I can very well access that. So even I can say y equal to x or, you know, z equal to something like x plus 10. So I can access because x is valid now. But when I delete, I'm going to delete x. See, x is deleted now. So now let's see, can I access x now? X is no more defined because so the value you created with the name x is deleted by you. So that's what it is showing you. So of course, other variables are valid. Z is valid, y is valid because they are created and they are not deleted. Now let me delete y. So now y is deleted. So do you observe now? Y is deleted. So now y. So y also cannot be accessed. So like that, whenever you want to delete any object that you have created, you have to use the keyword del. So del followed by that variable. So when after deleting the, so you will not be able to access that variable. So if I say after deleting the variable x, what happens? What happens when I do this statement? Yeah, it shows an
X
error.
is not defined.
Yeah, it's not defined, right? Variable x is not defined. So that kind of error you will get. So now let's see the next keyword if. So why do you use the if condition? You know very well about this if, right?
Condition.
Why do you use conditional? So
Checking
whenever you
conditions.
want to create some conditional statements, then you can use the if statement, right? So usually in what order the sequence of statements execute? Say for example, I have some certain statements like, so let me write x equal to 10, y equal to 20, z equal to x plus y, something like that. Okay. So in what order the sequence of statements will execute?
Read the values first.
Someone is having question. Let me clarify that. While can you see the screen? All the windows you are able to see, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So someone is asking some question. Vaishnavi is asking a question. while using is when it is given x equal to 10, while differently checking for returning true, but why is it not true in case of list? Yeah, because 10 is a single value, right? It's a primitive value. So Vaishnavi, so are you focusing on this? So when you create the variable x and y, so let me explain that. So you are creating x equal to 10, y equal to 10. Actually 10 is given some memory location and both are the same and both are pointing to the same value, same memory location itself. So that is how x and y are pointing to the same object. So 10 is an object here, right? So that is how, so 10 and this 10 and this 10 are pointing to the same object, same memory location. So x is y will return a true because they are pointing to the same memory location. Now let me explain this. 20, 30. So x is this list and y is this list. I'll clarify that. So x and y both are pointing to the same type of list. Okay, same type of list. So even then x is y, if I say it's false. So why is it made as false is, it is because of this intention. X dot, I'll update, I can update x dot add of 40. I'm adding one more variable to add is not there, right? Maybe x dot push, x dot push of 40. Push is also not there.
And
Concatenate.
Cat on there? I don't think so. X dot insert of insert also.
append, ma'am. Append, app and A.
Dot maybe append. Yeah, append is there.
Append, ma'am.
Let's see append. Oh, what
APP,
happened?
double P.
Spelling mistake. It's spelling mistake. It's not append. Yes. So now let's see x. So what is x now? It's x is 10, 20, 30, 40. And what is y? So y is the same. So if you say that x is y is true, what happens is, so even after appending, so also you should say x and y are pointing to the same. So do you appreciate this? Why is it made as false? Yeah, good. Good, very good. I always so love the people who ask questions. So now let's see this set of statements. So how these set of statements will be executed. First, x equal to 10 will be done, right? So in the sequence, the first statement after the second statement after the third statement. So x equal to 10 followed by y equal to 20 followed by z equal to x plus 5. So in this if you have many other statements, something like a equal to 100, then b equal to 200, something like that. So if you have more statements, then so the first statement, second statement, third statement, only statement after statement only your statements will be executed. Agree or not? So that's what we have seen in the programming. So if you don't have any conditional structures like if else or for or while, then that is how the statement, the set of statements will. But when you want to alter, in some cases, I need to alter this kind of sequence execution. Say for example, so if something happens, then only I want to assign this a value as 100. Or if some other condition is met, then only I want to assign this b value as 200. Okay, so in that case, I don't want these two statements to be executed in the same order. So I want to alter this sequence of execution of the statements. In that case, what I can do is I can use the conditional structures, right? The control structure, I would say. So there are different types of control structures. Hello, Chapandi.
Someone has a question. There are questions.
Yeah, of course, but every time interrupting, it's difficult, no? So, ma'am, if we assign like this, x equal to 20, y equal to 20, x z equal to x plus 10, then del x, then what will be the output? Is this error or executes? I just showed that, right? I showed it to you. I would have taken this question later, no? Okay. So let me, I already showed that. To 10, y equal to 20, right? Then z equal to x plus, what is that? 10. Now we are going to delete. Of course, let me show what are the values of x, y, and z. So x is 10, y is 20, then z is. It's done actually. Already it's evaluated and the values are stored in X, Y, and Z. Is it not? Now, even if you delete the object X, there will not be any problem to only X you are deleting.
Ma'am,
But you are
not
not
like
deleting the
that,
values
ma'am.
of Y and Z.
Ma'am,
Uh-huh.
not like that, ma'am. Like you write all the
Your
program,
voice is not clear.
write all the program in .py file
Your
and
voice is breaking. I'm not able to follow. Can you type your question? Do you have any? Hello? Okay, I'll take the questions at the end, okay? Executing line by line, then? Even if you concat the statements, no, they will execute only line by line. There is nothing like everything happens at the same time, right? So, Nikhil. So, are you asking about the same question asked by Chinni?
yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah. So, even if you type the statements on the single line also, you are separating with semicolon, right? Then in that case also, it's kind of, you are writing in the single line, that's all. It doesn't
Ma'am,
indicate
before
that they are all
executing
the same.
the Z value, not deleting the X value, we are
Ah.
executing the Z value, then we'll get error or it will
Then we
make
will not
execute.
get error.
No, the program will be get executed. Value will be 20 answer.
X equal to 10, Y equal to 20. Now I'm going to delete X. Then X is no more available. Then how can I say that X equal to Z equal to X plus 10? Doesn't make any sense, right? Is it not? Ante kada? So once that variable is deleted, then you cannot access this. Otherwise, you can very well access that. So did I answer your questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Even if you, okay, even in the file also it's the same, yeah. Your file lo petna gani, it doesn't change the order and all. Sorry, okay, X equal to 10, Y equal to 20. You are all having different notions. That's the problem. Z equal to, sorry, print chest chupina. So Z equal to, em kavali, X plus 10 kavali out there. Print off.
Madam, delete Z తర్వాత
కాదమ్మా నాకు నీ వాయిస్ బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ఐఎమ్ నాట్ ఏబుల్ టు గెట్ యువర్ క్వశ్చన్ or I'm writing in a file only. Now I'm going
Ma'am,
to delete
after the equation of Z, before the printing of X, Y, Z and values, if we delete the X, then what will be the output?
రెండు చూపిస్తాను నేను ఓకేనా I'll show both to you. Python. See, ఎక్కడి వరకు ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అని చెప్పండి. So X is 10 is fine, Y is 20 is fine, Z equal to X plus 10, that is 10 plus 10. So Z is also 20. So all these three statements are executed. Then you are printing X, print Y, print Z. So till the statement, no problem at all. That's why you got this 10, 20, 20. Are you getting this? So then I deleted X. So now the object X is no more. So that's why when you execute this statement, then only you are getting this error. And once you get this error, no, your further statements will not be executed because it's an interpreted language.
Okay, ma'am.
Is it clear now?
Okay, ma'am.
So now if you delete your X here itself, or even before that, then where do you get the error?
First two statements will be executed.
Only these two statements will be executed. Yes. So if you want, you can print them here itself. So here we'll print, then Z. So then after deleting this, now let's see. See, so X is 10 is done, Y is 20 is done, print X, print Y, both are executed. Then you are calling del X. You are deleting the variable x. Then once that variable is deleted, you cannot access it, right? This statement it's showing the error. If you want, you can check the line number also. In which line there is an error? Line 8. So you can check in which line it is. So line 8. So in line 8, you have an error. So that's what it is showing. So is it clear? Did I answer your questions, all of your questions? I
Yes,
hope I did.
ma'am.
Fine. Nikhil? Hello. What about Nikhil? Okay, anyhow, I very well answered it. So now let's see the set of sequence. So like here I have sequence of statements, right? So in which order you are executing your statements, or your system is executing statements. So first this statement, then this statement, then this, then this. So one by one, right? One after the other. Right? So that's how your statements are getting executed. But in some cases, in case if you want to alter the state of like the sequence of execution of your statements, then you should go for special structures called as control structures. Right? So if there is some condition, say for example, so I want to give some bonus marks. Okay, bonus marks to your question. So if you have attempted the question, then only I can give you the bonus mark. Otherwise, I cannot give you the bonus. So I'll check the statement. So whether the student has attempted the question or not. So if the condition is true, then only the bonus has to be increased. Otherwise, the bonus marks should not be given. Right? So in that case, if you want to alter the sequence of execution of the statements, then you should go for certain special as control structures. Okay, so control structures can be of two types, the conditional control structures and the loop control structures. So we'll discuss those details when in the second unit, when we discuss the conditional structures and the control structures. Of course, you know very well about the conditional statements, right? So based on the condition, you want to alter the sequence of execution. So in that case, for that, you can use the if keyword. So if is a keyword which is used to check the conditions. And if the condition is met, then you do this statement. So to say that, you can use the if keyword. And here is an example, you can see that. Maybe we can execute that here. So x equal to something like 5. And if x is equal to 5, you can say that. So always remember, whenever you're using if or for or while, so that line should end with a colon. If x equal to 5, then print value is 5, something like that. That statement I want to display. See the output. So value is 5. So because this condition is met, then you are executing this statement. So now let's see. So x is not equal to 0. So now let's see. Yeah. So here x is not 0. So if x is non-zero, so then the statement will not be executed. So is the statement is true? The statement is not true, right? Oh, the statement made true, sorry. So I wanted to make this as false. X is not equal to 5. Then the statement will be executed. Now nothing will be displayed because this condition is not met. So if this condition is met, then only whatever is there inside that statement will be displayed, or so whatever you are stating here, that will be executed. So that is how you can use the if keyword. And else, so in continuation to the if, so if you want to have the alternate statement also. So if x is 5, then you are saying that x equal to 5, then you want to execute if x equal to, or maybe something like I want to write program for even numbers. Let's continue that and do it. So x mod 2 is 0, then what does it indicate? If x mod 2 is 0 means what? So you can say that your value is an even number, right? even number. And otherwise, writing this is little difficult here actually. Yeah, we better use a file itself. That makes our life easy. Is, so you can say that, so print odd number, right? So now my program is done and I'm going to, oh, X is not defined. So let's read the value from X. So how do you read the value? X equal to input of, so the prompt, enter a value. Is it sufficient? Can I do this?
Right, ma'am.
What do you need to do? Is it done? Is it, but you will, yeah, let's see, you will get an error, but enter value, I have entered 10, but what it is saying, it's showing an error. What is the reason?
Arguments are not converted.
Arguments are?
We need to convert that string input into
You need to convert that to?
integer.
Yeah, so to integer, right? So input basically it returns only a string value. I explained that multiple times. So you need to change that to integer. So int of that. So whatever is returned by this input, that is a string, and you convert that to an integer value. So by using the typecasting. So this is how you can typecast, right? So typecasting is done. Now let's see. Let's execute it and see. So now 10. So it's saying even number. So if this condition is true, then you are executing this part of the statements. Otherwise, you are executing this part of statements. Of course, we'll see more examples on this if else and more meaningful examples. So while discussing the conditional structures and all. And there is another keyword, or shall I stop this? Because I need to look into the organizing details, okay? So I'm getting late. I've already taken more time. So I'll continue the discussion in the next class. So in today's class, we have seen some of the keywords, and all of you please practice the example that I've shown. So you must be comfortable with them, okay? So that it will be easy for you in the later chapters when I discuss the details. So the remaining keywords we'll be discussing in the next classes, okay? Shall I stop the class and let me take the attendance? 1 minute. So please don't leave, please be online. Let me take the attendance. Yeah, please follow the same naming convention, okay? Every time. So you follow the same naming convention. No need for this parenthesis and all. So 181, so that it will be easy for me to take attendance. 40. So 1 is present, then 2 is present, 3 is present, Kshetra 5 is present, 6 present, 14 present, 22, 24, 26, 28, 29, 32, 33, 36, 41, 45, 46, 15, 15, 17, 32. 90 is absent. So I don't see 90 here. 103, 105, 107, 108, 109. Hello.
90 absent, ma'am.
90 absent. 118 is present, but what about 120, 127, 124, 129? I don't see them. 155 also.
124 present, ma'am.
మరి మీరు లేరేం లిస్ట్ లో?
ఉన్నారు అంటే నంబర్ ఉంది మ్యామ్, పార్టిసిపెంట్ లిస్ట్ లో ఉన్నారు.
But use the same convention, no? Naming convention. Why do you change it? 167, 169. So use capital case so that when I search it comes. Next time I shall follow them. 192, 124 is present. What about 120? 129?
Absent. 120 absent.
120 is absent. Okay. What about the rest? 129,
Absent. 129.
155, 211 is present, 240 is
155
present,
absent.
29, 233, 235, 238. 238 is also absent. Please check it.
Yeah, absent.
40, 41. ఎందుకని అంతమంది absent అయ్యారు? 70, 71, 93, 3, 307, 310, 312, 314, 321, 331, 339, 340, 344, 346, 51, 52, 55, 60, 61, 63, 384, 385, 389, 94, 96. 96 is absent.
Present, ma'am.
Present. Where are you? 96. Okay, fine. మరి ఎందుకు ఆర్డర్ చేంజ్ చేయడం చెప్పండి? 4. Where is 400? I don't see 400 here.
Isn't it?
402. ఎక్కడ ఉన్నారు? 408 is also not there.
402 present, ma'am.
408, 411,
Ma'am.
411. ఇలా పిలుస్తూ వెళ్తే ఎంతసేపు పడుతుంది చెప్పండి నాకు?
411 present, ma'am.
413. ఎక్కడ ఉన్నారు మరి మీరు?
Ma'am,
ఎవరు ప్రెసెంట్?
413.
414,
Present, ma'am.
414,
Present, ma'am.
415, 16, 17,
Present, ma'am.
19, 20, 21, 24.
17 present, ma'am. 417.
ఈ నంబర్ ఎందుకు రాలేదురా అక్కడ? So next time onwards, all of you please follow the same. Don't waste my time, okay? 73, 74, 76, 77, 86, 88, 89, 94, 95. 10. Where is 506? Nara 506 absent.
Ma'am,
506 absent.
120 ఇప్పుడు వరకు ఉన్నారంట. నెట్ ప్రాబ్లంతో వెళ్ళారని.
ఎవరు?
120, 4120.
Okay. So what about the rest? Shall I freeze the attendance? 90, 96, 129, 155, 238, 241, 343 and 506 are absent.
155 also ఉన్నారు మ్యామ్, డిస్కనెక్ట్ అయిపోయారు.
Next. Freezing. Show. Okay, I'll take the attendance later. Fine, you may leave. Thank you. So if possible, no, try to attend the webinar at 2 o'clock. So I hope already I shared the details.